to Grey County Life at Home. I'm one of your hosts, Rhonda Brown, and we have the wonderful Mary Jane Murray. Good morning, Mary Jane.
Well, good morning, Rhonda, and it's lovely to see Charlie Brown this morning. We have missed him on occasion, but he's looking very smart and very attentive.
He's very attentive. If he had any recognition of the fact that there is a ginormous rabbit sitting in my front yard this morning, it would be a different story. He definitely enjoys that part of our walks and things. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And of course, you know, this morning we woke up to this thunderstorm and lightning and teeming rain. And now it's going to morph into some extremely hot weather. So that rabbit might be heading for cover soon. But we're hoping that people remain safe and check into the cooling stations because we are in for a bit of a heat wave.
Yes, and you know, it's hard not to complain when we get these things happening, but we do have to remind ourselves that we will be really looking forward to this in a few short months. So try to embrace the moment.
Exactly. And to stay safe in the meantime, for sure. Yeah. So I had a really wonderful experience. I love shopping downtown. They have the greatest shops there. And I popped into the Artist Co-op, one of my favorite spots. And I was looking for a couple of pieces of jewelry for my two granddaughters. And the artist, the jewelry section that I was looking at, the jewelry maker was actually there in the store. And so we got to chatting. Naomi Assenheim, and she's from Meaford, so she's local herself. And she has a daughter that's the same age as my granddaughter, so we were picking out pieces. But I actually sort of read a little bit about Naomi and some of her interesting background around her jewelry making and the inspiration around that. And a lot of it's based on nature. And so what we decided was, between the two of us, I should bring my granddaughters down to the Artist Co-op and let them choose a piece each of her work and see if it matches what I would have chosen for them.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. And I have to say, I've done the same thing where I've been down at the Artist Co-op and browsing, and I love seeing all the different kind of art and things. And I ran into Kate McLaren when I was buying stuff for some clients. And, you know, to me, that's very exciting and such a treat to be able to meet and greet and chat with these, you know, artists of our local community. It's one of my favorite things about the co-op.
Oh, and the variety too. But it's just lovely. I mean, even if you're just browsing and you're not actually intending on buying something, but you know, there's usually that last minute.
I don't know how you manage that. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know how you manage not to buy stuff. I gotta take some pointers because I have to be careful sometimes. But it's such a treat to be able to go in and see all the different things and then maybe pop over to the Milkmaid for some cheese or over to Brigitte's for some incredible pastries. Yeah, it's a great way to spend the afternoon, that's for sure.
It is, and it's also a reflection of the very open and embracive and welcoming community that we have, not only for artists, but the other thing that I tapped into last night was a webinar put on by the Welcoming Communities Grey Bruce. And they were hosting a webinar on bringing Ukrainian refugees to Grey and Bruce counties. And it was so well done. The moderators were David Morris and Colleen Purdon. And they brought in experts who have experience, I should say, people who have experience in supporting refugees from Afghanistan, Syria, Eritrea, and of course, Ukraine. And it was so well done and so informative. So if there's anyone who's interested in supporting refugees from Ukraine, please go to the Welcoming Communities Grey Bruce website and get more information on it, because there are going to be some families coming our way in the near future. And Lisa Chapman, of course, from Chapman's Ice Cream, was on the webinar as well. Of course, she has a Ukrainian background. She was born there. And all the work that she's doing, not only locally, but in Ontario as well, to support the refugees. And I think it's a great thing, but it's also a sad thing, because most of them are women and children, because the men have to stay in Ukraine to support the war efforts. So it's a lot of women and children who are coming and requiring a lot of support, nurturing, understanding, and then, of course, meeting all your basic needs.
Yeah.
Great community support services.
Yeah, that is amazing. There was something that I wanted to bring up. The issue of Airbnb and short-term rentals in Owen Sound. I have lots of thoughts on that. Please, let's not eliminate the entire process or the entire thing, the entire idea in our community. We are a tourism community. We need those tourism dollars. We need the people to come in, and not all Airbnbs turn into party pads on the river. So there are bylaws that we can put in place and enforce in our community to make sure that those things get looked after. But let's not kill tourism in Owen Sound, people. Let's think this through and maybe make some changes to any bylaws and things that we have. But yeah, that's just my little thing. So stay tuned to Grey County Life at Home. We have some fabulous guests after these messages on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
At St. John Ambulance, we're all about community. We teach life-saving skills and provide community support through our volunteer services. All St. John Ambulance product sales and training registrations support these important services. Volunteer, donate, or enroll in a program today so we can continue to have an impact on our community. Visit sja.ca to learn more. At St. John Ambulance, we do more than save lives, we change lives.
As the fighting continues in Ukraine, thousands of people are fleeing for their lives, forced to leave everything behind. You can help them. Your donation to the Humanitarian Coalition will provide food, water, shelter, and medical care to the people of Ukraine who urgently need it. Call 1-855-461-2154 or donate online today at together.ca. That's together.ca. The Humanitarian Coalition. Together, saving more lives.
Focus better.
Partner better.
Sleep better.
Breathe better.
Love better. Work better. Friend better. Unwind better.
Everything gets better when you get active.
Rachel, how are you today?
Good. Big name. People trip on it all the time. Yeah, feel bad.
We understand that you are a busy lady these days, right, Mary Jane?
Oh, yes. I checked out the Home and Community Support Facebook page and all the activities that are going on. So, Rachel, tell us what is behind all these pop-ups that you're doing in different communities?
So with Home and Community Support Services, since I've joined in the fall in my role, I've noticed that there's a lot of people in the community that just aren't aware that the organization and its services exist. So we're really excited this summer. We're launching our very first, what we hope to be annual, Kindness Makes Sense campaign. And it's going to be both raising awareness and also raising funds for our organization and the various services that we do. So I've been out in the community. I've got booths booked at a number of farmers markets all across Grey Bruce over the course of the next few weeks. And I'm going to be out in the community trying to get folks to get involved with our Kindness Makes Sense campaign. And there is a whole bunch of different ways that people or businesses can do that with us. So first I should go over, I suppose, what HCSS, or Home and Community Support Services, is for anyone that doesn't know. So we help provide both through staff and volunteer efforts, we provide services to folks in the community who need help with things to help them be able to continue to live comfortably in their homes and in their community. So our 6 main services include transportation, housekeeping, hot and frozen meals on wheels, a friendly visiting program, and then a day away program and overnight respite care are the big 6 things that we do. So we cover a lot of different things. And so getting folks to know more about what we do out there is job number 1. And then if folks have the capacity to donate or to help us with fundraising for that, then that's an extra bonus in this. So the way Kindness Makes Sense works is we're encouraging folks. We wanted to really do something different than the usual walkathon or run or bike or golf tournament. And people are having a real hard time with their mental health and well-being right now coming out of the pandemic. And so the idea is, instead of, support me and I'll go out and do a big walk, it's support me, and over the course of the summer, I'm going to actively be doing little acts of kindness randomly in the community throughout Grey Bruce. And so it makes you feel good. It makes the people that are getting the acts of kindness feel good, and it'll help. It acts as a catalyst to start a conversation about why you're doing this, and then maybe brings attention to HCSS, which is what we're really hoping for. So that was a lot. Sorry.
It is, but one of the things is that we've had Random Acts of Kindness Day, but what your program is a continuation of bringing smiles to people, doing small acts of kindness on a continuing basis. And I think that's what our community needs right now. One of the things I wanted to mention too was that I really like the way you've laid out your fundraising, because you've laid it out or your support services have laid it out in, if you donate $10, this is the service that you are providing, or $25 or $50. So tell us a little bit more about that, because it goes directly to the service.
Absolutely. So I actually have it right here, a handy little graphic that you can find on our Facebook or Instagram, and in the Kindness Makes Sense resource kit that you can print off. And so this sheet outlines an idea of what the impact of a donation can make. So as an example, a $10 gift will help provide somebody transportation to an appointment that maybe they couldn't get to on their own, or it might provide a hot Meals on Wheels delivery for somebody in the community. A $25 gift will help provide a day at one of our day away programs for somebody who needs to get out and get some socialization, but also maybe needs to be in a medically monitored environment, which is great because then that also gives a break for their caregiver as well. So there's a little bit of respite there. A $50 gift will help provide 2 hours of fundraising for somebody, 2 hours of 2 hours of housekeeping for somebody who needs a little assistance just keeping up with their home, or maybe doing a little meal prep and running errands. A $100 donation will help provide someone with a weekend of overnight respite care. So then those caregivers get a full 72 hours break to rest or to get things done around their house. Hopefully more so to rest, but because that's probably what they need the most. And then a $150 donation would typically provide someone with about 1 month of frozen Meals on Wheels that they could then have in their home and make it easier, because everybody knows it's difficult to prepare for one, right? If you're a single person, or if you're just and groceries, are like the costs are skyrocketing. So we're seeing a lot more demand on both our hot and frozen Meals on Wheels program. So those are just kind of some rounded estimate numbers to give you an idea of what the impact of a gift to HCSS would do.
Wow.
Well, I think that's important because often when groups are fundraising, the money just goes into a big pot that is going to support a project. But here, you know exactly what your dollars are, what services your dollars are providing. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, and absolutely 100% of everything we raise through this stays right here in for Bruce organization. So everything is really local, and everything that you give to kindness makes sense will stay here and help your neighbors who need just a little bit of extra help.
Rachel, I'm wondering, how does a person, I mean, if you have a friend or a family member and you know that they need some of these supports, how do we get access to your services?
So you can Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:30, and our telephone clerks will be there to answer your call and get information for you and determine what services are available in your area. Now, I would love to be able to say that every service is available in every area all the time, but there are wait lists at times depending on where you live, depending on our staffing and our volunteer levels. So if I can put the plug in for volunteers to help us out as well, yes. we can only deliver Meals on Wheels to folks when there's enough people to make those deliveries, or help with transportation to an appointment when there's enough volunteers to help with that. That's another side benefit, hopefully, of this campaign is we'll get more awareness out there for how much help we need with volunteers. And I think everybody knows that staffing in healthcare is a little tough right across the board right now. So we're doing our best to fit the demand as best as we can. And we do know when it comes to those healthcare positions, a lot of the other places can offer better wages than we can. And so, help from the community will also help us be able to provide a more competitive rate, and so that we can make sure we got those positions staffed and can continue to help folks out. Because the respite care that we're providing is far more financially responsible and affordable than someone being in long-term care or ending up in hospital, for sure. So
I think it's better for patients to be in their home, and we all agree with that. I mean, keeping people in their homes, that is a huge goal, I think.
Yeah, that's
lots of communities these days.
For sure.
Well, I think being in your own home helps you to continue with your memories, because as you see the items in your home or the photographs or the pieces of furniture, it's important that you have those memories and you make those connections. And it also helps you to be more in tune with what's going on around you. So I think that staying in your home as long as possible is important. But one of the points I wanted to get back to, Rachel, was the strain on the actual healthcare workers and your employees and the work that you do. The random acts of kindness, or the acts of kindness, and the kindness makes sense. it is also directed towards them as well. It's not just doing nice things for other people to generate funds, but also just those little appreciations, those notes, buying lunch for someone, I think, who is in the healthcare field is really important in order to boost their morale and to feel that they're so valued.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I first sort of pitched this idea to their staff, there's a little confusion at first. I'm like, "Wait, so we're only supposed to do nice things for people who have the capacity to make a gift?" And I was like, no. It's just a book if they have the capacity and able to make a gift. But we certainly want to go out and be spreading kindness, acts of kindness to everyone, regardless of their station and if they have the capacity, then that's a bonus. And if that act then helps them learn about who we are and what we do, maybe they need our services, or maybe someone they care about needs our services, and this is how they find it. So.
And how many farmers markets, you mentioned that you're going to several, like what communities are you going to be dropping into?
Yeah, so I was just in Lion's Head recently this last weekend up on the peninsula, which is lovely. The view from the beach was gorgeous. I'm going to be in Hanover. I'm going to be in Owen Sound, Flesherton, Meaford. We're kind of going all over. So we're trying to spread out and cover as much of Grey Bruce as we possibly can, just like we do with spreading out our services, because we know everybody all over needs help.
Do we have a website that you can give us and some contact information?
Yeah, so anybody who's interested in participating, they can go to our website at hcsgrayBruce.com, and you'll see a little banner at the top where it says Kindness Makes Sense, and there's a button to participate where you can sign up to collect donations online or print off pledge sheets if you want to do a little fundraising for us. Or there is the donate button if you want to just make a donation to the campaign, and that's appreciated too. And so in the participate, there's a whole kit with like hundreds of ideas of acts of kindness that you could do, and just sort of a bunch of different directions on or guidance. Because it's really, everybody can kind of make this fundraiser their own. You can make it as big or as little as you want. It's really your own fun, unique project. You can do it as an individual. You can do it. Our executive director, him and his wife and his 2 children, they are committing to doing 100 acts of kindness over the course of the summer. And so we've got a little checklist coloring page where they color in a heart every time they complete one. So that's on there as well. And so there's lots of different ways everyone can kind of make it their own.
Well, I really like the way that you're engaging children in this, because I mean, that's where to start in terms of building that sense of kindness in our children, just so that as they grow up, they become really engaged community citizens. And that's what we want for our community to be healthy and growing and vibrant, is to focus on our children and nurturing them along. What a great idea.
Yeah, we definitely really want to encourage kids to participate as well. And for me, I know what I feel is the other important aspect there is making sure that from a really young age, our kids are learning how important it is to take care of those in the community that need a little extra help, maybe because they're living with a disability, or maybe it's just because they're aging, and understanding that all of these folks are equally valued members of our community, and we need to support them and help take care of them and keep them in their homes happy, just like we want to be in our homes happy, right?
Oh, exactly. So is there anything else? I think we've got a little bit of time left. Is there anything else that you want to tell us? Because there was another little piece that you mentioned.
Yeah, so another piece which we're kind of gearing specifically to local businesses is the Shop Local for Seniors piece. And so this is kind of a fun way for area businesses to bring the kindness makes sense into their shops, restaurants, service offices, things like that. And they can pick an act of kindness or a little promotion that they're going to put out there for their customers, and then we'll help promote that either on our website and on our social media pages. So as an example, the lovely folks over at the European Bakery in Owen Sound are going to be baking special cookies throughout the whole month of July for Kindness Makes Sense and Shop Local Seniors, and all the funds from the sale of those cookies will be coming to home and community support. So that's just one example of how a local business can get involved.
Well, our local businesses are very supportive of all the fundraising activities that are going on in our community, but they love to have that recognition button on a website.
Yeah. Well, and we did have a corporate sponsorship as well. We have some wonderful folks who have helped us out with some sponsorship dollars for this campaign. The folks at Infinity, who are our tech suppliers at HCSS, have funded us for this campaign very generously. But we wanted to create this separate opportunity for the small businesses or smaller businesses, because we know the last couple of years have been just so tough for them. So this gives them an opportunity to do something fun and active with their customers and with the community, and we can help promote and maybe get new people inside their doors that were never there before.
Well, I certainly like the idea of supporting seniors. I can't imagine why.
Well, and we really appreciate, Rachel, you coming on today to let us know what's happening with your company. And we hope that there are a lot of acts of kindness in our community going forward. And I have a feeling, you know what, I think we're a very generous community, and I think people will really enjoy doing this. And it's a feel-good event on both sides, the receivers and the givers. So I think that's a fabulous idea. Looking forward to doing some acts of kindness over the summer.
Wonderful.
Thanks very much. We'll see you next time on Great County Life, and we will look forward to another visit.
Yeah, maybe I'll come back in the fall and we can go over how it went. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Absolutely. We'll love to see you then.
Take care.
Ani, I'm Carolyn King, and I'm a member of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the creator of the Moccasin Identifier. Philip Cote, an artist in Toronto here, took and redrew real moccasins. We're starting over with the children. The idea is that they would research whose land their school is built on, near, or what treaty area they're in. And the educational kit that we have has all that information in there. And the children just, love it. My dream is that this province will be covered with moccasin identifiers within the next decade, and they will forever know whose land they're on. That's the goal. Educate and awareness with a nice, simple little program called the Moccasin Identifier.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Are you the type who would keep going or stop? It's not easy to stop when you have an addiction. Legalizing cannabis won't stop addiction. It trivializes its consumption. Let's be vigilant. If you need help, visit portage.ca.
Still there?
Yep,
Yeah.
Welcome back
Okay.
to Great County Life on Rogers TV. We have the much loved and respected Chris Gabert here to talk about something that is going to be so exciting this summer. The Salmon Spectacular is back. Yay!
It is back in full swing. I got to welcome all the viewers listening in today. And the Sydenham Sportsman Association, it's a special year for us this year. It's our 75th anniversary for the Sydenham Sportsman. And since it's been going for 75 years, conservation and many other activities in the club. I was talking to somebody the other day and they said the club is involved in so many things. And I said, we got the Sydenham Club and then we got everything underneath it. So the Salmon Spectacular is alive and well and it's going full tilt. And the magazine is just out last week. And you can see our friend Steve Buzzy, which is a local celebrity on the magazine this year. And starting out on the Friday, we have entertainment going every evening. And this year we have something really special. We wanted to do some things that really drew people's eyes to the Salmon Spectacular. And this year we have Fishing Frenzy, which is a group, they go to the Toronto Sportsman Show and many other outdoor shows, and they're going to set up a fishing pond for kids. We're going to stock it with 500 rainbow, and we're going to have a mini derby on the Saturday and Sunday within the tent. So kids 16 and under will have an opportunity. Say a lot of kids don't get out and fish, and they're going to have an opportunity to go and fish and catch a fish. And we got a team there. If they catch a fish, if they want to throw it back in, they can. But if they want to take it home and mom and dad can fry it on the barbecue, we're going to clean it up for them and allow them to take it home. So that is a big plus this year for us. We got Kids Day back on the Sunday, where kids come out. Everything outside the tent is free for kids, and we have all the emergency fire, police, ambulance all show up, and there'll be games. Different sponsors set up games and different things. So new this year on the Monday is the Beckett's, and they're going to be doing Christmas with the Beckett's, and you can have breakfast with Santa in the morning from 9 to 11. So we're really trying to spin off. It's not just a fishing derby with guys in rubber boots. It's everything. Tuesday, we got Ladies' Day back. Josie's Clothing out of Wyerton is doing a fashion show. Shoppers Drug Mart is going to be sampling stuff at the tent, and we have our bingo back. So that's going to be exciting too. Seasons is sponsoring the Seniors Day this year, where we're going to do a mini fish fry for the seniors to nibble on fish. And there's going to be all kinds of card games and bingo. And the seniors, that's always a big hit. The tent is full. Neil Diamond Act, he's going to do a few sets in the afternoon, and then he'll be back on the Wednesday evening. I forgot on the Sunday night, we got the Shania Twin Act back. So she'll be dancing on the stage, and I'm sure she'll have lots of kids up there. And that's another fun event. On the Thursday, we got Molson's Day. And I think it was the first 50 through the tent will get a Molson's prize, be it you have to be of age. And and there'll be other things happening that day. On the Friday, we have Giant Tiger Back to School fashion show with kids. And there'll be a gigantic bingo on that Friday. And then don't forget the 2 Saturdays. Last year, we did a curbside fish fry. And this year, it's all going to be under the tent again. So the fish fry will be under the tent. And last year with curbside, we did 2,200 people through the drive-through. And normally what we do at those 2 fish fries is about 5,000 people. So it's really exciting. We're going to have fun. I said to my wife the other day, 34 years of being involved in the Derby, and I'm really looking forward to this one.
Well, not only are you looking forward to it, but I think a lot of folks over this past 2 years, this dry spell we've had and how we've had to pivot and adapt, I think you're just going to be flooded with people coming out to celebrate this not only spectacular event, but the fact that we're sort of back to normal and being able to do these things again.
I was stuck in the house for a year and a half, and I'll tell you, I can understand how people feel. And one other small change is we're really trying to divert the Derby back to its roots, where it's a family festival. So the entertainment in the evening is going to start at 6 and go to 9:30. So it's not going to go till 11:30 till 12. And our security costs were just getting extraordinary. And we're hoping we'll be able to bring some of those security costs down. The families can come and enjoy, and then it'll be done at 9:30. The tent will still remain open for the fishermen until 10:30, but we'll be stopping to sell beer tickets. It's not about making money off of beer. It's about safety, enjoying, and having fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. I checked out the information about the Salmon Spectacular, and I found a fact that I was really surprised about, and that the women's fishing is one of the fastest growing industries.
It's huge. It's extraordinary. And, I have 4 girls, and they outfish me all the time. And my one daughter is just an avid fisher person, and she is crazy about fishing. And I love to see it. I really do. Bringing kids into angling is wonderful. Bringing women is even greater, because it brings another a view or outlook of fishing and different tournaments. And we have a lot of ladies win prizes. A lot of ladies win prizes, and young girls. And there's a couple things I got to remark on. I did a talk on the radio station there about 4 weeks ago, and a lady called in, and she said, "Chris, I just got to thank you." And I said, "What's that for?" And she says, "You gave my son a fishing pole and a tackle box about 15 years ago. And he had some challenges, and he's still got that fishing pole and tackle box in his room. And she said, you directed the way he loves fishing. And it was because of that young man is now, he's an avid supporter of the Owen Sound Salmon Spectacular. He loves fishing. And it's just, I almost started to cry that day when I heard that. I thought, wow, you really do affect people."
Well, there's something about fishing where it's quiet, it's contemplative, and it builds patience, and it takes you from the chaos of your normal daily life into a sense of reflection or solidarity, or just having that space. Just space. Even if you're in the same boat with other people, when you get that rod into the water, everybody just kind of just quiets down.
Yeah. There's too much of this anger and go in this world. And we got to bring it back. We got to bring it back to being able to just enjoy, just have fun. Come down to the Derby. It's not about drinking and getting drunk. It's about enjoying yourself, seeing the things we offer. The Fish TV is going to be back. I even put a challenge out to the city council to, after the pond is closed, to have a mini fishing derby with the city council to see who really can fish. And I think they're going to take me up on it by the sounds of it. I was talking to Ian Cotty and some of the councillors the other night. So it's really exciting. I'm a one that loves to tell stories. I got one more. Last year I talked a bit about my dad and the passing of my dad, and it was really a celebration derby for my dad last year. And we did a magazine, and there was a lot of stuff in it. But the other day, one of my friends, an OPP officer, was out on patrol on Cowboys Bay, and he took a picture of a boat he seen, and he sent it to me, and he said, "You'll never guess what?" And I said, "What?" And he says, "Your dad was out fishing today, and the boat that the guy won last year, the picture of my dad was on the side of the boat, and he was fishing." And he said he was fishing in cowboys. He said, "Man, you keep your dad alive, don't you?" So it was. I sent it to all my family members, and it was really, really neat and great to see.
Well, your dad left an amazing legacy in our community.
Yeah. And I've taken the approach that if I get down or sad, I can't. I got to celebrate him. I gotta tell people about him. I gotta tell people that, what he did for this local area. And one of the ones I drive by all the time is Haibu, and it was Bob Knapp and my dad that formulated that committee, and went to city council, went to different organizations to get money to buy that property, which everybody can enjoy now in this area.
Wow.
Wow. And did they put a bit of a plaque on Haibu in recognition?
I think I know Bob Knapp did a book, and there was quite a bit of recognition on that. There hasn't been. One of the things we're working on right now is the Sydenham Conservation Foundation is an offshoot where we can issue tax receipts, and it's a charity, and we're going to name one of the 100 acres that it owns the Fred Gebert Walker Wetlands. So that is in, and we'll have a celebration day when that takes place, but that will be taking place probably within the next year.
Well, that's great. We certainly appreciate everything that your dad has done for our community and for his family as well.
It's been 2 years.
You're all engaged. But we just want to clarify the dates for the Salmon Spectacular and the tickets.
Okay, so the Salmon Spectacular starts August the 26th. It's a Friday. It's a 10-day event. It ends on the Sunday with it's not the big award ceremony. We're going to give out the first prize boats on September the 4th. It's on the Sunday. It goes each day from 10 till 10 a.m. And there's all kinds of activities, as I spoke about earlier. If you wish to get tickets, boat draw tickets, we're currently selling them at the local malls. Right now, this week and next week, it's at Walmart. And you can get your boat draw tickets there. We have a special deal going on. If you buy a book of tickets, we give you a free Salmon Spectacular hat. So it's just to say thank you for all those supporters. And if you wish to get Derby tickets, you can buy them at Watson's Gun and Tackle shop in Owen Sound. We'll be doing some promotions with them for the early bird, where if you come and buy a Derby ticket, we'll give you a free bag of Fisherman's Batter. So we're doing lots of promotions like that, but www.sydenhamsportsman.com is the website that you can go online and get your tickets at.
Now, can you purchase tickets on the day of planning to, like on site?
You can, but you won't be able to fish until you got to purchase the ticket the day before. In order for you to fish, and that prevents people from going out without a Derby ticket, catching a big fish, and then coming in and enter it. So you got to purchase the ticket the day before, and we do have family tickets. They're $70 for a family, and it's a couple legal guardians or parents, and kids 17 and under. Which include, and we have some big families that, you get 5 or 6 kids in the family. It can be expensive, and that's why the family ticket is necessary for people. The single ticket is $30. Price has not changed. It's the same. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, I understand that you have like $150,000 worth of prizes.
$150,000 worth of prizes. We're the only Derby that has 28 boats that we give away, and that's canoes, kayaks. We have the first prize salmon, which is a 16-foot G3 70-horse Yamaha boat motor and trailer, Scotty Downrigger Lawrence Graff. Then you have the boat draw, which is the identical boat to the salmon, and same 16-foot G3 Yamaha 70-horse. Then you have what I call the Fred J. Gebert boat it'll be a different picture this year. And and then you have the biggest lake trout boat. And then you have the biggest brown, which is a canoe, and there's fish and tackle. And this year we're having a boat for the Derby entrance. So if you buy a ticket on the Derby, you will be entered to win. I think it's a John boat with a Yamaha motor and trailer.
28 boats. My gosh. I mean, that's amazing. That just shows the amount of support and recognition that Salmon Spectacular has.
I'll be honest with you, this event would not happen. And we found it out with COVID. It hit our organization very hard. And we didn't, we tried to apply for grants from the government. It didn't, nothing came through for us. So it is the sponsors. It's people like Yamaha, G3, Advanced Marine, Georgian Shores Marine, and Molson's, and it's organizations like that that keep this event alive and well. And there's 276 sponsors. It would take me most of the afternoon to name them all, but thank you to the sponsors, because that's what makes this event go.
Wow, I'm sure everyone's really looking forward to it. August 26th to September 4th.
Yeah.
Of this big spectacular event just before everybody heads back to school and work. And
that's the only sad part. It's the end of the summer. It's
that's about it.
When the Derby comes at the end of the summer, you know that it's back to school. And there was one other thing I was going to mention. On those special days like Ladies' Day, the first 100 women will get a carnation. On the Christmas with the Becketts and Santa, I think it's the first 100 people will get a Christmas gift. And and we've got a whole bunch of gifts wrapped up, and we're going to give them out. So each day we're giving stuff out. And I think it was on the Thursday. I think it was on the Thursday. Georgian Bay Honey has donated a bunch of honey, where we're going to give the first 50 people a nice jar of honey. So,
well, it must take an army of volunteers to put all of this together. I mean,
we have 32 committee members, and they're hardworking. I'm kind of the steering wheel that steers the ship, and I'm retired now, so probably 90% of my time is spent doing volunteer work with the club and the Owen Sound Salmon Spectacular. And it was in my dad's heart, and I told him I would not let it fold, and I would continue it, and I'm working hard to do that.
Well, not only are you continuing it, but it sounds like you're enhancing it.
Yes. Yeah. You got to change things. You got to make things different. You got to say, and the one, if you get the hearts of the kids, they'll bring the parents back. You don't have to worry about going after the parents. My kids still talk about when they were small and going on the rides and going and doing different stuff and helping mom with breakfast and different stuff. My kids grew up at the Derby. We had a playpen.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking. Join me for my next show, where my guests will be from the Bruce Gray Roman Catholic School Board, Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
I'm Nicole Martin, the proud ambassador for the Comfort Bear program. Comfort Bears provide these cuddly bears to local children who are terminally ill, facing trauma, or battling a serious illness. Every $20 donation will place a Comfort Bear into the loving arms of a child involved in our program. It is our hope to distribute 1,000 bears in 2022. Please join us and provide comfort to kids in their time of need.
Welcome back to Great County Life at Home. Rhonda had to pop off for a meeting, And this is our Adorable Adoptable segment. And welcome, Renee. And who do you have with you today?
It's too bad that Rhonda had to pop off because I know she's got a little bit of a weakness for labs, and I've got a lab puppy right here. This is Shadow, and Shadow, who is sitting quite comfy, eager to love and cuddle. She's giving me lots of kisses, as you can see. Definitely a person dog. Definitely wants attention, definitely wants love, but is only an 8-month-old puppy. And the reason that I mention that is this girl, although she's sitting quietly now, has a whole lot of life to her. So she's a very busy and active puppy, and she's chewing on my ears. Shadow came in as an owner surrender. She was living in an older home, and she was just too much dog for them, unfortunately. I think that the concept of a puppy wasn't something they thought about what happens after they get a little bigger, which is the case with her. Now, she's not a purebred lab. She's something else in there. So she's a little bit smaller than your average lab, but she is still quite a bit strong and bigger than, of course, a small dog. I would put her at this point probably 50 pounds. Okay, that's enough with the kisses. She is, as you can see, great with all people. She's good with dogs. She's good with cats, and she's had some training. The good news is her house training is done. So that all that stuff is been taken care of. She will, of course, need her spay because she's still a puppy, and her vaccines, oh, excuse you, have been done. But she will require her rabies when she gets a little tiny bit older. Right.
And just before Rhonda left, she was asking you about the rabies clinic.
Yes, and I'm glad she did because it reminded me about that. We have unofficially, but probably, set the date for September 10th, our annual rabies clinic. So it will definitely be in the fall. That's the date. We're just waiting confirmation from the veterinarian for that. So that's something, once again, that we'll be able to have, which we're very excited about. Right. You could come. Yeah, you could.
Now, you mentioned that Shadow was about 50 pounds now. What do you think she would be when she's full grown?
She's not going to be your 80-pound lab. She's going to be more like your 60, 65-pound lab. So shorter, let's say knee height. Some labs can be quite a bit taller than that. She's not going to be. She's going to be knee at most and not quite as heavy. So whatever she's got in there is a little bit smaller, which is nice. It could be something like a border collie. Her coat is a little rough, so it could even be something like a poodle. Who knows, right? Who knows?
The adventures preceding Shadow, for sure.
She's the sweetest thing. So she has been, in a home with older children coming around. So, and I think she would be fine with children. We have no issues or concerns about her temperament. Of course, I need to remind everyone that a puppy is always active and busy, and they can knock those toddlers around just because it's fun, not because they are having any ill intent. I think the same would be the case with Shadow. I mean, she is sitting here very well with me now, but she did have a good run this morning before we came on. I was smart to do that. It is quite hot today, and I'm sure that's slowing her down as well. Right? Yeah.
So I do have to ask you about my check-in with our previous guests last week, Axel and Oscar. How are they doing?
They have been adopted. They did not go together, which was a little sad, but they both got homes with other cats, and they've got cat buddies, and they're thriving, and life is wonderful. So we're back at 100%, and I absolutely love that. It's always so fun to be able to say that. We're back at 100%. They've all gone home, so it's great. Right? Hopefully the same for you, Miss Shadow. She's like, I'm quite comfy right here on your lap, so I'm okay. Right? You want to go home?
Are labs typically this affectionate?
I suspect that Shadow's missing her family a little bit. She seems to be a little more needy today. She's only been with us a couple of days, and I think she's enjoying the cuddle time. She's probably been well loved, and I think she's probably had a couple of days where she was missing out on that. So she's kind of taken advantage of the opportunity, but it's okay because that's what we're here for. We love the love too. Right. Yeah, thanks. That was good timing. You're definitely going to be a licker. Yeah, you are. Gross. Goodness. Stop it. Stop with the love. Perfect for somebody who needs a face wash. Goodness sakes.
Now, is she well trained?
Her training has been started. What that means is she's got the basics down pat. She comes most of the time when she's called. She sits for a cookie, which is great. Beyond that, she's a little strong on the leash. The most important thing is that her house training has been well established. And to be honest, that's one of the most important things. I mean, if I was getting a puppy, that's one of the things I'd want because it sure does life a lot easier when they go outside to go to the bathroom. She is old enough that she can hold her business. Those little tiny pups, not so much. So it is certainly an advantage if you're somebody looking for a puppy to take one a little bit older because you've got your brain sorted out and you go to the bathroom outside. Two very important things with puppies, right?
When you took her for a run this morning, was she on a leash? Is she well leash trained?
She's quite strong on a leash. We walk her here with a gentle leader, as we do all of the dogs that are strong on a leash. Those are those face harnesses. She doesn't love it. She's getting used to it, but that definitely helps. If you're not familiar with the gentle leader, they are similar to a horse halter. They work in the same pretext that if you can walk a 2,000-pound horse with something on its nose, you can certainly walk a dog. And we love them here, and it's how we manage them. Now, in her case, she's not that strong. No offense to her. She's just not that big. But it's a good idea to get her into the practice of walking properly. It will certainly help her stay in her new home. That's for sure. Right?
And we're just coming down to the 1 minute mark. So are you suggesting that she really needs a fenced in yard?
I would love to see her with a fenced yard or a big country home. I mean, and certainly if not, if you're somebody who likes to run or take long walks, this would be a great dog for you. Labs are typically water dogs, so she would probably enjoy a good swim as well. Definitely things to keep her busy and occupied. Now, one negative thing about a lab, and it's not so bad, it's just something I need to let people know, they also like to put things in their mouth. So she's going to need a lot of things to pick up and carry around, a lot of toys and a lot of conks, and she'll be just fine.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Renee. We'll be looking forward to hearing how Shadow is adopted out. Beautiful, beautiful dog. And I would join us next time on Grey County Life at Home.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line. Email us or connect with us on social media.
I started playing softball when I was 4 years old. I loved it because it was all about having fun with my friends. And it still is.
From little kids to adults to seniors, softball is a sport for everyone. Join us.
As the fighting continues in Ukraine, thousands of people are fleeing for their lives, forced to leave everything behind. You can help them. Your donation to the Humanitarian Coalition will provide food, water, shelter,